Yeah, Binder and Mia, who's already taken a tumble at turn 13. Those two have set the exact same time so far, 1:31.417. As we look now at Bagnaia into this last split, which cost him so dearly late on last year, where he really did get mugged off late on by Marc Marquez. All his focus was on Jorge Martin ahead of him, lining up what he was hoping for. A late overtake right here to maybe win the French Grand Prix for Martin. What he hadn't reckoned with was the brilliance and the audacity of Marc Marquez to pass him going into turn 9, which dumped Bagnaia into third place. I remember in front of what was a very raucous crowd on the podium, Bagnaia had a face like thunder, and he was not happy to have lost not just the victory. Did he lead for the first 20 laps here last year, Bagnaia, and then got picked off late on by both Martin and Marquez?
Yeah, of course, he had his pocket picked by Enea Bastianini back in 2022 as well, in quite dramatic circumstances where Bastianini passed Bagnaia, who then fell off later on that lap. Bagnaia is up to third though now. Alex Marquez also improves, 1:30.4. He's now up into fourth, so they both nudge ahead of Maverick Vinales. Fermin Aldeguer on the other Gresini Ducati has started his latest lap with the fastest first sector so far. Aldeguer currently sixth and potentially looking to climb higher than that.
He absolutely blitzed that first sector as Aldeguer. He's also had a pretty strong second split as well, this from the number 54 at the moment in 6th place, looking rather secure, you have to say, at this phase for the top 10. We're looking at Bagnaia. He's also on a very good lap as well. He's just going to click through sector 3 where he loses a couple of tenths. Just coming through the third sector, not too far behind Bagnaia, will be Aldeguer. Is he still going to be up in that third split? No, a bit like Bagnaia, he also loses a couple of tenths in that third split. But you have to say, you feel that Bagnaia and Aldeguer are job done as far as direct spots in Q2.
Well, the previous lap, Bagnaia pulled time back on Marquez in the fourth sector. He does so again and moves up into second place. It's now a factory Ducati 1-2, although still only Marc Marquez is in the 1:29s. Can Aldeguer join him in the 29s? No, he doesn't, but he does move up into the top 3 ahead of Quartararo. It's Ducati's 1, 2 and 3 now.
Class, what a class lap that is by Aldeguer. Never had a top 6 in Moto 2 here previously. Le Mans, not exactly a big love affair. Now then, the home crowd, well, they'll be pretty disappointed because Zarco has taken a late tumble. Now, how significant could that be? Because Zarco on the floor and in 9th place with a 1:30.754. So there can be some very anxious faces. Acosta now has bumped Zarco back to 10th. Now, this crash here, yellow flag's going to be out, which could be a factor for some late laps. But could this prove to be a real costly error late on Zarco, because he has been pushed back down to 10th spot?
They'll be hoping those yellow flags stay out for another couple of minutes. Unlikely though it is. Someone who's really going to be cost by that is Brad Binder. There's a bike in the background, not like KTM at the top of the picture down as well, and they've quite been able to catch who that was. That was down at the S Bleu. Zarco, we believe, was down at Shimano Berth. So 2 crashes late in this session, which is bringing out a whole litter of yellow flags.
Vinales, back on his second RC16, has just set the fastest first sector. Vinales was locked inside that top 2 when he crashed at turn 9 about, what, 10 or 15 minutes or so ago. So on the spare bike, Vinales also himself in that sort of danger zone in 9th spot.
I was about to say, I thought that might have been Binder down, because he's been stuck in the 4th sector for quite some time now. Binder did go down late in this session, so he will not be moving through into qualifying 2. Binder down in 19th place, and he'll stay there.
From P2 to P19, that's a tough one to take for Binder. He would have taken a lot of confidence from this morning's session, albeit from the fact that he was out on a fresh medium at the end of that session to find a 1:31.340. So Binder, compared to his lap time this afternoon, he's actually about a tenth slower than he was this morning in the cooler conditions. So Vinales with Acosta for company. Both of them at the moment are going directly through to Q2 into the final minute then here, and what's been a pretty dramatic conclusion to this session.
Zarco out, Marini's gone up into 10th on the number 10, so Johan Zarco with that crash, it has cost him a place in qualifying 2. Zarco with the home fans behind him will have to go through qualifying 1 tomorrow. That doesn't look set to be a problem for his compatriot, and Fabio Quartararo wants a place in the top 3 back.
We called it, we said it was probably going to be a really costly mistake that by Zarco. It's Quartararo. I mean, just, you have to doff your cap and say chapeau to Fabio Quartararo, because once again, He's picking a fight with a whole armada of Ducatis. Marc Marquez leads. There's the replay in the top left-hand corner of your screens of Johann Zarco's session coming to a premature end, and his hopes of going through to Q2 directly also ending. And there's the crash at Binder. A couple of barrel rolls through the gravel trap for his factory KTM.
Bezzecchi into 10th right at the end, so he salvaged a Q2 place for Aprilia. So Marini was temporarily in and now relegated back out. Jack Miller is in 6th place, not looking under any great threat of a place in the top 10. So 2 Yamahas are set to move through automatically to Q2.
That's a great ride by Miller. That is a brilliant ride by the Aussie on that Pramac Yamaha. Showing a bit of form, a bit of progress on a soft tyre, which has been his real Achilles heel so far this year, as Enea Bastianini, who has really suffered in time attacks as a KTM rider, has not yet started higher than 17th on the grid. The Beast was 13th fastest, so still not directly into Q2, but you certainly feel like a lot closer on a soft tyre than what he previously has been of late. What's happened to Fabio Di Giannantonio today? He really has suffered a poor first day, the Italian. His last lap was his best of the day, a 1:31.257, but nowhere near good enough. 1.4 seconds behind Marc Marquez, who does lead at Friday in both sessions. He does do it with an all-time lap record of 1:29.855. But just coming back to Di Giannantonio briefly, on the factory Ducati, he was 7 tenths away from the top 10, a real poor Friday.